Hi, everyone. It's Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach here. Today, I want to talk about communication because I heard a stat the other day that was crazy, and I want to share it with you. It is that on average, most employees spend about 17 hours a week untangling miscommunications, kind of resolving these miscommunications. Communication is something that's so important in general, but also now that we're all working from home and we have fewer channels than we usually do, right? We can't just walk up to somebody. We have to be even more thoughtful about how we're communicating so that we can save time, make sure that the frustration doesn't happen, and essentially make sure that we're being as productive as we can and that we're limiting the friction that happens in relationships when there is miscommunication. So, I want to give you a couple of tips to help you. The first one is that you want to give context when communicating, but just the right amount of context. You don't want to give too much information. You don't want to write a 5 paragraph email that nobody's going to read. Succinctly boil it down to the one or two salient points that someone needs to know to be able to understand what you're saying and make a decision if that's what you're asking them for. Then I want you to think about the method of communication that you're using. Email, Slack, these things are great, but they're limited in some ways as well. So I have what I call the two exchange rule. And this is essentially that if I have gone back and forth with somebody 2 times about a particular topic and we're still just not understanding each other, we are not at resolution yet, then I pick up the phone or the video call in this case, right? Sometimes we are just hesitant to pick up the phone or to talk to somebody live for some reason, but it can actually save us so much time in the long run. Another thing that you can do is just be really clear and concise with your written word. So, whether you're sending emails, whether you're sending Slack messages, whatever it is, when you're writing, you want to be as clear and concise as possible. People just don't read these big, long emails, these big messages. You want to really highlight the points for them. Make sure that they really know what you're needing. So, if you are asking them for approval on something, say at the top, need approval by X date, right? If you need them to review something, say, please review. Make it really easy for the other person to get what they need out of that message from you so they can help you. And then finally, I want you to think about how we're expressing tone and these other things, especially around written language. I think it is, you don't want to have your emails, riddled with emojis, but emojis are one of the ways that we can communicate that we're not being overly harsh, etc., because tone and all of that, it's just lost in the written word. There's actually a law of communication that states that about 7% of what people understand us saying is coming from the actual words. 38% is coming from our tone and our voice, and 55% is coming from body language, right? So if we are not comfortable on video and we're not using our video, we're actually selling ourselves short there in terms of communication, right? Because people are not getting that body language from us that they really need to be able to understand what we're fully saying. So use emojis judiciously, use video chat where you can. And in these times when communication is even more important than ever, just be a little bit more mindful about how you're communicating and what channels you're using.